For those of you who would like or need seating, please sit. Please sit. It's going to be really awkward having this meeting with nobody sitting in the front seats. I think John and I are going to develop some kind of a complex with that. So, if folks wouldn't mind having a seat, you know, you don't really have to, but it'd be great to have some friends in the front. So. I think if the governor were up here and he said sit, they probably would.
They probably would. Will you come say sit for us?
Yeah.
All right, come on up. Everyone sit down. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it.
See what I mean?
Just because I signed that budget doesn't mean you're all getting your money yet.
Yeah.
So let's go.
All right. So we're going to get the show on the road. It's my job to welcome you to the event today. And I also want to welcome the Facebook followers who are we're Facebook living today, however that's said. You can tell I'm my age. And so I'm happy that they're with us as well. When anybody comes up and speaks, please stand here because there is a mic here, and that is our connection to the outside world. Am I correct, Michelle? Okay. So, Governor, in thinking about this campus, right?
Yes.
I remember having a conversation with Phil. I remember, him saying, we're not going to do that. We're going to do something else. And then he came back and said, the governor doesn't like that first thing, so we need a second thing. And then we started talking about Franklin. And Phil's here in the audience. Thank you, Phil, for that little push over there. And it's been 2 years since you mentioned it in your State of the State. It was a little, I have to admit, I had a little panic attack. Because all of a sudden we were just doing this massive campus, which we had talked about, but then it was real. And then over the 2 years, we've been able to come together as a group, as a community, to really think about what this campus should look like. And look where we are now. And you know that Easterseals has been involved with the veteran community for quite some time. Andrea, you're here, raise your hand, Veterans Count. We're very proud of that program, and since 2007. And we've provided care to thousands of, veterans, military, and their family. We have one of the founders of Veterans Count in the audience, woohoo, Mike, and he's going to do a deeper dive into what Veterans Count is. So there was the whole process of, thinking about this, and I was talking to Eddie about it. It's like thinking about it, dreaming about it, to making it happen. I'm shocked and amazed and thrilled that so many people have caught on to our dream, because it was a dream and now it's a reality. What we wanted to do was, first we needed the money, we needed to get through executive council, thank you. And so that was a thing unto itself, and we can't thank you enough for that. But over the last 9 months, we really wanted to be purposeful in the way that we researched this campus. And, we literally met with hundreds of people in figuring out what was to be on this campus. It was veterans, the military community, it was service providers. We did surveys, interviews, visitations to other sites. We wanted to demonstrate that, yes, we have Veterans Count, and yes, we are Easterseals. This is for the entire military and veteran community. And while we love Veterans Count, and they're going to be an integral part of it, this is for everybody, the active military, the Guard, and veterans alike. So we did that survey, thank you, Ginger, and that's a whole nother thing. We're going to be releasing the results of that, of all that work that we did in a paper soon. Michelle will let us know about that. But, the big ideas are those 4 pillars that we promised you. There's actually a 5th one, self-sustaining, that we're working really hard on, but it's housing. It's a hub of service for the veteran community. It's a retreat center, so that when you come and you are when you're using the therapeutic recreational community, you're using the rail trail, or you're doing the river fishing or kayaking, you have a place to stay. So those things are for sure there. And the things that we want to have happen are like a equine recreational facility, an outside music venue, other outside activities that will come in time. And I guarantee it will happen eventually. So the other big news that we didn't quite know about, that again, it was a connection you made down in DC, was the hopes of possibly having the VA clinic on campus with us. While we can't get into details about whether it's happening or not, because quite frankly we don't know, it's exciting to think about them as being partners with us on that campus. And
There's space for them.
there is. There's a little controversy around it, and we might need your help with a certain group of people, but we'll talk to you more about that.
You provide the space, and I will guilt them right into it.
Okay. Yeah. So, so one of the biggest surprises, I mean, everything is a surprise that's happening with this campus because everybody is so excited, honestly, is being able to work with you, John, and your team. And I've been doing this for a really long time. 30 years is a long time. And the effort that you are putting into it, your team is putting into it, the love that is shared in our meetings, the dedication. You know, there's a contract and then there's all those other things. And it's amazing to me about all those other things. I hadn't met you prior to this, but you are honestly such a gentleman and a man of your word, and you operate with integrity, and you also get to the grit of getting it done. We really appreciate that. And to the Procon team members out there, raise your hand. It takes a village, honestly, and it is an honor working with each and every one of you. So, you know, this is our way of really honoring New Hampshire's best. I got to go to the U.S. Army War College 2 weeks ago, and it was so humbling being in the midst of all these people who have dedicated their entire lives to this, like lieutenant colonels, and they're going to be brigadier generals, and they fight in wars, and they do other things. And to know that we have something so wonderful that we're doing that you agreed to do is absolutely wonderful. So with that, Governor, I can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
You are a man of your word. You walk the walk, so the podium's yours.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. I'll be quick. Never easy to follow, Maureen. Look, it's a big thank you, and it's just all about turning something from an idea, having the courage to make that idea even a little bigger than maybe you originally anticipated, and knowing that you're in a state and in a community, and when you're working with veterans and working with the nonprofits or the state services or even the federal services that are, knowing that you can count on everyone coming together to make it a rally, because it has to be a team. It really has, these types of innovations have to be a team. There's really no place really like this, as far as we can tell, anywhere in the country. And it isn't just about having this building, not that building, or having this one service, not that service. There's really no place where you take all the wraparound opportunities around veterans, specifically in the nonprofit world, and there's so many different nonprofits. There's small ones, there's big ones, there's Veterans Count, there's Swim with a Mission, there's all these great opportunities. Some are more rural, some are in downtown Manchester, some are in the southern tier, some are New England based, some are national, right? And depending on what the need, not of the system, but the need of the individual, right? It has to be about the need of that veteran. You don't know what that need of that individual is, given their economic status, given where they might live, what their job status might be, what services they've had, the successes or failures that they've experienced in the system before, right? Because that history often dictates, the opportunities that might come forward. But the whole point is, we're not creating a system and we're asking folks to fit into our system. We're creating a system that creates wraparound services around that individual, around that veteran. And as General Michaelitis, who's here with us today, I say it, I think in our first interview, when I was interviewing to be the Adjutant General, the words that hit me the most were soldier for life, right? And that's what it's about. Folks that sign that piece of paper, they don't expect it, but we have the obligation to provide services and make sure that we're caring for them through, whether it's in active military, as a veteran, whatever it might be, whether it's getting a job, helping to pay a bill on the side, or getting mental health and homeless services for those who need it the most, for those who stood up for this country. But it absolutely has to be about the individual. There's really no place in America that has the opportunity to do it like this than New Hampshire, because that's how we do our systems. We always start bottom up, right? Retail management, if you will, retail design. The individuals have to come first. So the opportunity to do this, I think, and show how this model can and should work for the rest of the country is awesome. Now I'm going to take 30 seconds. Yeah, no
pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. But really, full confidence. No one is thinking, oh, this might not work. No one is thinking it's going to work. Look at this room. Look at the individuals in this room. I know all these individuals. This is the team we had to put together, and all came together. And no one said no, right? No one has really said, I don't want to do that. I don't want to participate in that. everybody's dying to be part of something because they know not just what a great project it is, but the results that it can get, which is really cool. To John and Jennifer, the whole Stebbins family, the whole team at Procon, what you guys are doing. Again, I'm going to pile on a little bit with more what Maureen said. What Procon and what you guys have done, are willing to do, and participate in this project and make it a reality. It doesn't happen without you. It really doesn't. So it's about the facilities. This is the other really cool thing. We're already hearing from folks that from out of state that say, hey, we hear you're doing this thing. How do I come to New Hampshire and work and be part of it? So staffing is always one of the biggest challenges, right? Whether it's a small local veteran service or something bigger, or mental health services or homelessness, you can have beds, you can have facilities, but if you don't have the people to create that one-on-one connection that we're talking about, it ain't going to work. But already we're the attractiveness of this project, the word is getting out nationally that people are like, oh my gosh, I want to work with veterans, go to New Hampshire. They support it, they get it, they're trying a new innovative model. So the idea that staffing hopefully won't be the crisis that we see in some other areas, to make sure that not just the physical structure is there, the people are there, and then that the veterans want to come in and participate. And whether, like I said, it's a nonprofit or whether it's working with the federal VA or the state veteran services, we have great people and great teams. It's a one-stop shop, right? One stop. That's the real goal here. So folks know veterans know they have a home, whatever the need might be. And whether it's getting that service directly out of that facility or them pointing you in the right direction and making that introduction and allowing that communication to happen, which right now can happen in a very bit of a nascent system, right, within veteran services sometimes and veteran nonprofits. But really with the pandemic, and I'm going on too long, but the pandemic created the opportunity with what Phil did with Swim with a Mission, bringing nonprofits together that were literally side by side but had never met each other, right? And so that was the first real bridge to gap, if you will. And that was an awesome opportunity. And we were just up over at the Fisher Cat Stadium about a couple weeks ago. Again, for the second or third time that we've done this, where Phil brought all these nonprofits together so that they can meet each other. Oh, you do this? Oh, we kind of do that. Oh, you work with that area? Oh, we could translate that service over here. And how can we help you? Because it has to be a team effort. So I'm just so excited. If we didn't have the people, if we didn't have the teams, if we didn't have that infrastructure in place, I would have said, no way, this is never going to work. But we have it. I mean, New Hampshire is so unique that way. I just couldn't be more excited and more proud. So, just keep kicking ass. That's great.
And it's tough to say no to Maureen.
Feedback. It's very hard.
Yeah.
Very hard. Come on. You're the best. Thank you.
Whew, his energy. I don't know how he does it. There's so many people in the room that are making this happen, and New Hampshire's a small town. It really is, and the longer you're here, the smaller it gets. And life is about relationships, and that's the premise of this campus. Next, I'd really like to welcome Commissioner Taylor Caswell, who's been so supportive of the project. Come on up.
Thanks, Maureen. A couple things. My role in all of this has been through what we call GOPHR, which is an acronym that I did not choose, but it is Governor's Office for Emergency Relief and Recovery. And this is where we were able to find some resources after some direction from some key members of the administration to put the pieces together on this. And with the GOPHR work and all of the things that we've been doing under CARES Act and in what we call deep COVID and now under the ARPA program has been a couple of prime directives, right? And one of the prime directives has been always make sure that we're investing in things that improve systems, that make systems that otherwise without this resource would not either be able to exist or would not be able to function on a higher, more efficient level. One of the other ones is that we always invest in long-lasting infrastructure, things that are going to last for a long time. They're going to live well beyond these billions of dollars that are coming under relief funds and won't inflict long-term cost, an albatross of cost on individuals and organizations over the long term. And when it came to this project and this program, this fit very squarely right into those things exactly. It's doing all those things to bring, just as the governor said, all these organizations together in order to provide a service to a community that we absolutely are dedicated to and that we want to continue to show that affirmation for in our veteran community. One of the things that I always talk about wherever I go is the fact that we continue to have a need for workforce in the state because we have a very vibrant economy. We're at a 1.9% unemployment rate. Woo! It's cool, except when you're trying to hire people. You know, and I said last month it was 2.1%, and I interviewed and I said, I don't think you can legitimately go much below 2.1%, and here we are at 1.9%, the lowest unemployment rate in the United States, and something that obviously we're very proud of, but also comes with it something that we need to be aware of as we go forward. One of the things that we are aware of is our veteran community and the fact that they present an opportunity to New Hampshire for workforce, for starting businesses, for representing the live free or die spirit of New Hampshire as a home for residents, whether you're taking advantage of all the services that are going to be available in Franklin, or whether you're just coming here to start a business, or you're coming here to get a job and live the quality of life that we have in New Hampshire. That's a critical component to everything that we're looking at doing. So nothing, I think the governor just mentioned this, the affirmation that this project brings to the veteran community and to those who are working within the veteran community, not just here in New Hampshire, but around the country. And for people who are thinking about, as they're discharging, where can I set up shop? Where can I live? Where can I find a job? Where can I live free? You think about New Hampshire increasingly. We want that affirmation. We want the veterans to be here in New Hampshire. Having a consolidated service environment that we're going to be building in Franklin under Maureen's leadership and with Procon and everybody here in this room is just so critical to that messaging at a time when we really need it. And we're always going to do better with the more veterans we have in New Hampshire. So thank you to everybody who's been part of this. Thank you, Maureen. Your leadership on this has been, what did I say up in Littleton once? There was a congressman from Louisiana once who referred to someone who was absolutely unrelenting as someone. It's a scalded dog, right? and she falls into that category as somebody who does not give up and who makes things happen. We have no question that it will happen within the requisite time frames. So with that, thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Requisite time frame, that was the cue to me. You know, we talk about people that have been involved in the project, and I know Mayor Joe Brown is in the audience, and you know, Franklin has been so welcoming to us. We can't thank you enough. So, you know, somebody that I've gotten to know during this process is Commissioner David Michaelides. It's been an honor and a privilege getting to know you, getting to know the Guard more, and just getting to know you as a person. How about you come on up?
I just want to echo a few things. And for me, it all started back in around 2018 when the governor signed an executive order to establish the Department of Military Affairs and Veteran Services. And I think he had the foresight back then, and then the legislature codified it into law, to bring all those silos of state government into one umbrella under the Department of Military Affairs and Veteran Services to take care of our service members, their families, and the veteran community. And here we are today. And I think the neatest thing or coolest thing I see here is Maureen and Procon now taking the mantle to the next step. Right, the establishment of services was great. You know, we tore down those silos in state government, but now it's the private-public partnerships that are making this work. Whether it's Philtop, with Swim with a Mission, with Maureen now, with this campus, it is exceptional that the care that the citizens of this state are taking for our veterans who swear that oath to the Constitution. And I cannot thank you all enough for what you do for your advocacy and for your care of veterans in the state of New Hampshire. Thank you.
Really appreciate that. Thank you. So, I get to introduce you, John, and I know I've said a lot of nice things, and you're up next. Sorry about that.
It's enough nice things. We could just move forward. Well, thank you, Maureen. This is it's been quite an honor to be working on this project with you and the Easterseals team, and Procon is just really thankful for your trust and leadership to execute to allow us to execute this vision for Easterseals. We really couldn't be more proud of the work that Easterseals is doing in the state, including running Veterans Count, and we've Procon has enjoyed an almost 40-year relationship with Easterseals that started with our longtime president, John Salmonfeld, the namesake of this building. He was on the board of Easterseals for 36 years. And we're really happy that, that tradition is being carried on via Tracy Harris, our Vice President of Development and Marketing. And then, to be involved in this project and deepen our relationship with Easterseals, it's just really special. So thank you. Part of the Veterans Count Creed says we'll do whatever it takes to meet the critical needs of service members, veterans, and their families. And it's clear that Maureen and her team take that creed to heart. They've been passionate advocates for this project and have given Procon some very ambitious goals and aggressive targets to meet. But working with her and Chris Miller and Peter O'Shea has been a wonderful experience. Their knowledge of the design and the construction industry is deep and impressive. And with projects like this, they require thousands of decisions that have to be made. And with these aggressive timelines, there's many times owners, developers, organizations can get sort of stuck in the paralysis by analysis, right? And that's not the case with Easterseals. Their experience has allowed them to make quick, prudent decisions and really helped us to keep the project on time, the design on time. We haven't gotten to construction, and keep the project in budget. So I'm really impressed and happy to work with you. As Procon's largest design build, as New Hampshire's largest design build firm, Procon has dedicated all the resources necessary to ensure this project will be a success. And we've really adopted that same whatever it takes mantra and have some of our best team members working diligently to deliver this beautiful facility for New Hampshire, for Easterseals and New Hampshire, and our veterans. We're proud to say that we have 6 employees who are either veterans or currently serving. And 2 of them, Benita Cook and Todd Hooper, Todd's actually here, have been primary contributors to the design. So this is really a project that is designed for veterans by veterans. As you'll see with this schematic design that we're going to unveil here in a few minutes, the design of the project is really, schematic design is now complete, and we're moving on to permitting, to design development, and narrowing in on the pricing, the budget that Easterseals has given us, which is also pretty aggressive. We're starting the project hopefully in the fall, we're getting through the permitting process, and hopefully in the fall of '24 we'll have veterans living in this facility. I think it's just going to be incredible to be able to walk in the doors and see this facility. Thank you so much to the Procon staff that have worked on the design, the pricing, and getting geared up for construction so far. You guys are doing an amazing job. Keep up the good work. Thank you to Easterseals for your vision, the passion, and the stewardship. The collaboration has just, like I said, been extremely impressive. Thank you to Governor Sununu and Commissioner Caswell and the council for your support and advocacy for this project. Obviously, wouldn't happen without you all. So thank you so much, and thank you finally to our servicemen and women. This project is for you. I can't wait to see you enjoying this facility and really helping improve the lives of you all. And you have improved our lives, kept us safe, kept our country safe, and so we're dedicated to you because of your dedication to this country and us. So thank you.
Thanks, John. You know it's good when you're in a room full of people and you gaffe and everybody just laughs with you, and I really appreciate that. So with that, it is my honor to introduce Mike Salter. Mike is the founder of Veterans Count. He has been a steadfast follower and supporter for years and years and years, and I consider you a very good friend, Michael. Here you come.
Well, first of all, I'd like to take the opportunity. I'm looking 16 years ago. I haven't changed a bit, of course, no one, but to thank you, Chris. The Sununu family. I remember John. I mean, there's been government's been support, and the AG, military's been support. Of course, there's a lot of talk about collaboration here. One thing I got to tell you, going back, and there's Eddie Edwards there. Thank you. Why did we start this thing? Where was? Let me take you back to 2006, 2007, just for a minute, but I know this may take a bit. What was happening then, just a little bit? First of all, Apple introduced the first iPhone. to change the world. It's only been then. The Red Sox won their second World Series in 4 years. That's what happened. That's not bad, huh? What else was happening? Veteran suicide rates were skyrocketing. What else? 90 days it took to get a veteran to get an appointment for health care. 1 out of 3 veterans were coming back with PTSD, TBI, or some type of mental situation, you know. So I was at Easterseals, and at that time, I looked around and I said, what's this? There's plenty of money involved. You had the VA had plenty, the government had plenty of money. Now, there's a lot of talk about collaboration. What was missing? I said the private sector. They were respectful, but they were not engaged. They were respectful, not engaged. So I went and talked to guys like George Munson, Ginger Munson's husband, George, who's just out there now, and we got a few veterans together and said, hey, what are the private sector? What are we doing here? The government doesn't work unless we get involved and get engaged. Talking about kicking out. I mean, that's what our role is. We're in the private sector, and the collaboration's key, and it is. And I'm here to say thank you. But unless the private sector and veterans and others get engaged and stay engaged, it ain't going to work, because we can see what happens in Washington. Finger pointing, that's what's going on now. Now, what we do in New Hampshire, and Chris is right, Governor Chris, whatever, we make it work, and we only make it work because the private sector, ProCon or others, we get engaged. Now, that's why I'm here to represent the private sector. I can't care about the nonprofits or government. But I think unless we get engaged, we're the ones that make things work. But anyhow, I don't mean to make that too much. Anyhow. But anyhow, what's happened with Vets Count? I couldn't be prouder. Never what we've heard the statistics. We've intervened in 133 cases of significant suicide. We made 29,000 referrals. $5.5 million have been sent out to help with rent. That kind of thing. But that's history. What's the future? To me, that's exciting. That's what's really exciting. And collaboration is the key. We've shown it. Now, I don't want this to be my own vision. I said, you made a danger when you asked me, what do I think? My 2 cents for it. But what do I think? I don't want this to be a place where you walk your dog, take a swim, you get there and your body gets a little workout, and boy, you had a fine time. I don't want the body treated without the soul. This is a mission. This is a chance for veterans. It has got to be a military campus. When people walk in that door, they know they've got a job to do, and they're just not there to have, the job is to be reminded they're a veteran and they have a responsibility to mission individual, to the country, to the family, whatever it is. So that's my kind of viewpoint. I mean, I really don't want to go on and on, but it's got to be that kind of thing where we take seriously, and people that come there take seriously for a purpose. And we hire people for a purpose. We build a culture that we're engaged in, and we make a difference. We have an impact. So what's it mean to Vets Count, though? This is pretty exciting to me, because what's it really mean? It means that we can treat many more, we can have access to many more veterans and do a better job and have a greater impact. I hope we're part of my vision. We're part of an intake center, a welcoming center. But that care coordinator of Andrea's there, and we screen them. We identify earlier the social and clinical needs they have. When they leave, they have a plan and they have a purpose, and they're followed up for at least 90 days. And they're reminded they're a veteran. They have a responsibility to other veterans, to their family, to us, and it's a good reminder. And for the active veterans that are there, come on, for renewal. This place ought to be a place where we really get the veterans who are active duty, to remind them this is a chance for renewal and to really get more involved in our country, our nation, our state. So anyhow, you're right. The people here, collaboration's the key. Swim with a Mission, Phil Taub, he's taken it to the next level. You talk about collaboration. I kind of felt like kind of started a vision of collaboration, and he's taken it, boom. So, and couldn't be. I have greatest respect for him and Swim and anyhow and all of it. Anyhow, thanks for your time. I just want to say, hey, let's keep it going. All right? What do you say?
Mike and I had breakfast last Friday, and we were arm wrestling over parts of the campus. As you can see, he's pretty clear on his vision for the campus, and it does align with with where we're going. I'm really happy and proud to be able to introduce Andy McWilliam. He's the current chair of the board of Easterseals. I've had the pleasure of working with him for 2 years, almost 2 years, as the board chair, and there's no there's no sitting still at Easterseals with Andy at the helm. Come on up, Andy.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'd just like to share a few remarks on behalf of the board, and then we'll get to the reveal, which is obviously the part of the program that everybody came for. First, I'd like to thank Governor Sununu, the Executive Council members, Commissioner Caswell, Major General Michaelides, John Stebbins, and the entire ProCon team, and the entire campus task force, and finally my fellow Easterseals board members for being here. It's truly been a team effort that's allowed this amazing project to come to fruition. To say the least, this is a very exciting time. Excuse me. Easterseals' commitment to veterans and the military community is unwavering, and I couldn't be prouder that we are truly pioneering a first-of-its-kind, multidisciplinary military and veteran service campus to serve those who have given so much in the defense of our country and in support of our freedoms. The impact of this campus will be felt for generations to come. Moving forward, we'll be surveying a variety of people to determine the official name of the campus, along with raising the additional funds needed to complete the retreat center, build the multi-purpose therapeutic recreational building, military-themed playground, and outdoor performance stage. And I understand Maureen's going to be the first act, so stay tuned. Other future key milestones include the official groundbreaking in Franklin on September 20 from 3 to 5, so mark your calendars accordingly, along with the commencement of construction on the affordable housing and retreat center components in September, with an expected completion date of December 2024, so no pressure, John. Again, thank you all on behalf of the entire Easterseals Board of Directors. We're certainly blessed to have your strong support and collaboration from each and every one of you. Now on to the part that everybody came for, the design reveal. Thank you.
All right, so we're going to unveil, and then Eric is going to give us a 5,000-foot view of the site, and then Michelle is going to close us out. So I want to say thank you for coming, because this is the last you're going to hear from me. Thank you. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh,
Yeah, let's go this way.
taller people.
So this is Eric, and he is the Executive Vice President of Architecture at ProCon.
Thanks, Sean. Yeah, the team at ProCon is very excited about this project. It's an honor for us to take part in this. We're excited not just about creating this incredible campus, but we're also excited because this gives us the opportunity to protect some of New Hampshire's endangered architectural treasures. If you see this campus, there's some amazing architecture there, and we're very grateful that Easterseals project is giving us an opportunity, maybe the last opportunity, before time takes its course, to preserve the vast majority of this campus. So I'm basically here to talk about the meat and potatoes. So we're developing 2 existing buildings here. These are the old Webster and Henry buildings, if you know the site. One of them is an old school building. One of them used to house the orphans here years ago. As you know, there's a great deal of historic significance to the site, both for its connection to the great orator Daniel Webster, and also that it was New Hampshire's orphans' home from the 1850s on. So some of these buildings go back all the way back to 1790s. The Webster Tay House, which is the original Webster building, is a protected landmark. All these other buildings over the last several decades have been at serious risk of being torn down. So we're very excited that we have the opportunity to restore them and create this incredible campus and bring life back to this beautiful site. So these 2 buildings, affordable housing units, are 2 apartment buildings. One of the big drivers of this was to make this whole campus accessible. That's part of the mission that Easterseals dictated to us. As you can imagine, there's a number of historic buildings, they're all different heights. It's not an easy task, but we will make the entire campus accessible. There's about 75,000 square feet of renovation here and a little bit of new construction in phase one. One of the key pieces of the new construction is this little nugget here between these two apartment buildings. That little building houses an elevator that allows all 3 stories of those buildings to be fully accessible. Oh, perfect. Here's a rendering of that, of the little connector. So there's an elevator in there that allows it to be accessible. All of the apartments in those buildings will also be accessible. The other thing that little building does for us is it gives us the opportunity to put some state-of-the-art mechanical equipment on the roof that allows us to bring some energy-efficient HVAC systems into those apartments. The other things that you see on the north side of Holy Cross Road runs through the site here. There's a future use building here. The building up here is intended to be an equestrian facility and a canine facility for comfort dogs. Down on the south side of Holy Cross Road, there's a series of existing buildings, the oldest of which goes back to about 1850. That's right here. That's being completely renovated to provide more housing units. Most of those will be short-term stay, hotel room style apartments. The building next to it is also going to be completely renovated. There's some units in there. If you've ever seen them, you wouldn't want anybody to have to live in them. Those are going to be completely renovated and redone as well. There's an existing commercial kitchen in the basement of this building, so we're going to keep that, create a nice new dining room adjacent to it, so all the people staying in these buildings can use that for their dining. There's a number of other amenities within these old buildings. There is some co-working space, there's offices, activity rooms, fitness rooms. The beautiful chapel at the end here is going to be maintained and refurbished as an activity room and a gathering space. This is the old boiler plant. That's going to be decommissioned. We're going to replace it with much more energy efficient heating and cooling systems here. The goal for that space is to make it a makerspace. So we'll see how quickly we can get that done. In addition to all the amenities in the building, there's a lot of great amenities outside, as was mentioned before. There's a challenge course. There's an outdoor amphitheater. There's a playground for the veterans' families and their kids. One of the great things about the site you don't see here on the north end of the site is the Merrimack River's right there, and that provides an opportunity to throw in kayaks and provide all kinds of water activities for the veterans as well. The other nice synergy about this site is there's a rail trail adjacent to it. It's part of quite an extensive network, so that provides opportunities for the veterans to utilize as well. So, like John said, we're thrilled to be working on this project. Our goal as the architects really is to channel that passion that Maureen and the Easterseals team has and try to channel that into some beautiful architecture. That's the goal. Hopefully you agree. If you don't agree, talk to John. Yeah, and Todd Tooper, who's a veteran, and his colleague Bonita Cook, our 2 lead architects, are very excited about the opportunity to create a beautiful campus for their fellow veterans and to provide something to serve those who have served their country so well. So that's it in a nutshell. I can talk about it all day, but I'm sure people have other things to do.
Could you just point out the future state, just those couple hopey, dreamy things?
Yeah.
Facility at the top.
Yeah, the hopey, dreamy things is this is an equestrian facility primarily. There's also a canine component to that for comfort dogs. There's an outdoor paddock. There's horse runs. This, you want to talk about this?
Like a future health.
Yep, this could be a future healthcare type building to provide some more traffic to the site and be sort of maybe an economic engine to the site as well. So phase 1 is what you see here, basically, and phase 2 is what's in the upper left.
Thank you. We wanted to thank everyone for coming today. This is so exciting for Easterseals, ProCon, and to the military and veteran community. So the program is ended, but we would love to do some photos with the speakers and other people involved in the project. We'll be doing some around the renderings, but take a look at the renderings, enjoy some food and drink, and we appreciate you for coming.